right now the title is up for debate, but I mean I like it. Yeah. Toxic Nigga Network. Yeah. So basically, just three bros, just discussing stuff about relationship and life and
real shit,
whatever comes to mind. You know what I'm saying? So let me start off. My name is Reggie.
Yeah, man. I'm Juan.
I'm Rob.
All right, so
just TNN,
baby. So we're super excited. We've been talking about this for quite some time now. So we got a lot we want to say. We're gonna have guests on board. Different women and have their input on certain topics and stuff like that. So we'll have road events, things are just interesting. So all right, so
there you go. Toxic Nigga Network.
All right, man. So one of the discussions we said we were gonna talk about was the word toxic. Period. So what does the word toxic mean to you, Juan?
Yeah, I mean, toxic ain't even. I don't know. You can't really describe it. It's more of a like a way of life. You can't. I'm just saying, the word will make you toxic. People will make you toxic. You're not born toxic. It's like saying when people are born gay. You ain't born gay. It's just you go through things and then. But some people got different meanings behind it. But I feel like toxic is a way of life. You go through life and things make you toxic. I had relationships, so I wasn't toxic.
Right.
And then as I progressed, it got to that point. So I mean, that's how it is.
Rob.
Man. I look at toxic like. So
hold on. Before we go any further,
hold on, wait.
So the thing about Rob got a list. So
strong one. So a strong list.
Yeah.
We're gonna be frying his ass during this podcast. I'm gonna let y'all know that right now.
So don't judge me for every S word you hear.
He's just a little sassy.
Shit, I got a little stuttering problem, so I be stuttering sometimes. My shit ain't that bad.
Maybe I need to drink more. Make my list go away.
No, go ahead, bro.
No, but on the real though, when I think about the word toxic or whatever, or a toxic situation or a toxic relationship, the first thing that comes to my mind is Stockholm syndrome, and people just no matter you and this person can be going back and forth, be like, well, I don't really give a shit what you do. I hate you, blah blah blah, and then the minute you leave, but why are you leaving me? I thought you loved me. All that toxic. To me, all that stuff is just simply just toxic, and it is it's the type of love that you think you would want in a person, or the relationship that you would want, but it's what sounds good ain't always good for you. You know what I mean? Y'all can love each other. I was in a relationship where I think it was toxic. The only thing that was ever good about our relationship was sex. So we stayed together for so long because the only thing we could get right was sex. And it would play with your emotions or whatever, thinking let me keep trying because if we can get one thing right, we can get more things right. So then, to me, that makes it more toxic. You can hate them one day and love them the next day. Any type of love-hate relationship, it's just toxic. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it.
Shit, that's a good one. Yeah. Now, the way I look at toxic, motherfuckers be mad because you be having fun out here in these streets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not even just about the streets. I think that toxic, I think it's two sides to it, right? I think people use the word toxic whenever they feel okay, well, this person don't want to be with me. They want to be in the streets. So they have toxic energy or some shit like that. But then it's when you in a relationship, you have people who do foul ass shit to you. That's a level of toxic. So I guess what I'm trying to say is there's different levels to it. Everything isn't toxic, but then in today's culture, everything is toxic.
Yeah.
Women love to throw that word around. Not saying just women, but men too. But we love to throw that word around. Oh, that's toxic. That's toxic. That's toxic. When sometimes you just put your foot down about certain things. Mm-hmm. For instance, perfect example. So I was married, recently divorced. After my divorce, or during my divorce, I got into a relationship. So during that process, I was dating this woman, and it was great at first, and it was fun, and it was exciting and new. And then after we went through our honeymoon phase, it was what the fuck? That shit got trash as fuck. So it got to the point where it was like it got like borderline like abusive. So it's just like that's when I think of toxic. That's what I think about. You know, I don't think of toxic as like, oh, because you talk to a lot of bitches, or because, excuse me, a lot of women. See, I still be gonna say that word because you talk to a lot of women, or you talk to like, you know, or you mess around with a lot of women. That means that like you ain't shit or something like that. Yeah. But I don't know, like people are weird.
So when you say your honeymoon phase, that's why I'm scared. If I ever was to get divorced, I don't ever want to get into another relationship or marriage because it's gonna get bad eventually. A lot of people will be like, nah, man, you gotta take the right one. No matter who you with, it's gonna get bad eventually.
See, but I think that depends on who you're with. So I'm not gonna say that. That's what I'm saying. Like I ain't gonna make it seem like every person you find is gonna be like bad eventually. But I think that what happens is that you either get complacent, not complacent, but you get comfortable with like what they do, and it's like okay, whatever. Like you know, it is what it is. Like they don't pick up they underwear when they get done showering. I'm just gonna pick it up. I don't care. Yeah. Or that shit irritates the fuck out of you, and it's like, yo, what the fuck, like. But I think that people get comfortable, and that's what happens. Yeah,
I don't know, man. I just can't get past like people always trying to like they're with you in your certain way. They go down the line. It's like why you acting like that? I was like that when you met me. Like, what do you mean why acting like that? You married me, you got with me, and I was like that already. But now, in a sense, we're married now. It's like. No, well, you got to change the way you are or the way you act.
But you loved this back then.
Yeah, but back then, we was straight. Like, so, I mean, that's why I say I can't get back into another relationship if I was ever to be out there in the streets again. I'm just going to be in the streets, deep in the streets.
It's fun, I ain't going to lie.
I mean.
I love it here.
That's how it love it. That's how it be sometimes, you know?
But Rob, he's the one out of the group that got married, got a divorce, and they got married again. Yeah. Like, what the fuck? But go ahead. Explain this, please. Explain why you got married again.
I mean, why you got to put me on the spot? You know, I'm a believer, man, that there's somebody out there for everybody. So if I sit here and tell myself, like, you know what, I'm never going to get married again, I feel like I'm cheating myself, or I could be cheating the person out there that's for me. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong. You can get married 3 or 4 times. There's nothing wrong with the ideal of marriage. But if you're going to sit there and be in a relationship with someone and then you move on to the next person and you don't release yourself from the energy from the last one or hit the reset button, then, of course, you ain't going to never want to get married again. You're going to go into the relationship, the next relationship, with the same mentality. Like, when I was with my ex-wife, I really didn't give a shit about mental health and all that other stuff. I used to be like, well, okay, you got ADHD. Yeah, whatever, who cares? Not that deep. Just have a better attitude about it. You know what I mean? I had to learn that the hard way, that everybody's mentality is different. You can't just sit there every time something goes on with someone, you're like, you know what? Did they take their meds? Because no one wants to hear that. So the point I'm trying to get at is that when I got married to my current wife, I hit the reset button. So the way I was with my ex-wife, I'm not the same person now because I learned from my last marriage. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, people say, well, if you got married one time, why do it again? If it failed, why do it again? Well, if that's the way we're going to look at it, like, okay, bet. Why are you getting married again? Why you getting married again? That's like saying then, why keep quitting? Or why not just give up? I mean, we can sit there and apply that logic of, I can get married 5 times, but then it'll get looked down upon. But you can fail 5 times, and people just say, oh, good job, keep going. So why can't we apply that same logic to love or a relationship? Well, we get mad about being married over and over. We get mad and we say, oh, that's messed up or it's fucked up because we're doing the same shit from the first marriage that we're doing in the 5th marriage. And we wonder why things is not different. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you find the next person, are you selling? Or are you just going off of, like Jones would always say, potential? Or, so it's like, if you're sitting here with the same mentality, like, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't want to say it the wrong way, but it's like, I'm a save a hoe type. I don't go out there like if I see someone that doesn't have it the way I think they should, I'm like, you know what, I got you. I'm gonna hold you down. And you know, sometimes you tend to settle, or it just doesn't. You just want to do so much for someone, they just may not be ready for that.
See,
right. I want to say something too.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Take the floor.
All right, man. We think they'll do the same thing for you if you was in a situation they was in when they met you. If you was in a situation that they was in when you met them, would they do the same thing if you was in a situation that they was in?
It's hard for me to say that because I'm a man. So, I mean, I can't sit there and put myself in the shoes of a woman because as a man, I have there's different level of expectations that's held for me. I am born and meant to be a provider. That is what I was born into. I was born that way.
That I agree on.
That's true.
But I would say this though. I don't fall in love with potential no more. Okay. And that's the thing, like what you just said. Like, there are some women out here that will appreciate you and love you for you. And they see your hard work and they see you, like, actually trying to, like, be successful, right? But then there are women out here who have that culture of you have to already be there.
Yeah.
I'm not, and that's where I got that mentality from to not fall in love with potential. Because ain't no woman gonna want to be with no bum. Yeah. That's just off the bat. It don't matter if you the finest motherfucker in the world or whatever, right? If you ugly as fuck and you on your shit,
yeah,
you can pull them. It don't matter. Yeah. So it's just like I feel like you know, when you as a man set yourself up for that, even if they look good, even if they fuck you good, suck you good, or whatever, it's just like, what are they doing for themselves? What are they doing to be better? What are they doing to add to your plate? Because as a man, like you said, we're expected to provide, and I don't disagree with that. I feel like as a man, especially if you take a woman as your wife, you're supposed to provide for her. Yeah. You know, because not saying that a woman is a damsel in distress or some shit like that, but on some real shit, it's like on some like you her man. Like a man is a big role. It's a huge role. It's a huge like shoes to fill. But why would you give all of your masculineness to somebody who don't deserve it, and vice versa? Right. So it's a book, and I want y'all, you know, everybody, all our listeners, to listen to read, listen to, or whatever. It's called "The Way of the Superior Man." So you can look it up on what's that shit that's on Amazon? No, not that.
I can't remember
the shit we Audible. There you go.
Audible.
Yeah, so you can go on Audible and you can actually download this book. But this is the book that Lauren London gave Nipsey Hussle on their first date. He talked about this on the Breakfast Club. And I've actually read this book, and this book is like fucking lit, bro. Like it pretty much tell you how to be a man, bro. It's like a finesse book, like real shit. Like it tell you like what to do when your woman start tripping and all that bullshit. So it's a good book, you know what I'm saying? And it helped me along my way, and it helped me in life. So, but yeah, like you were saying though, like I understand where you're coming from. You like to give women, you like to try again, and that's okay to be that way. But then for some of us, it's like, why keep trying when it's like, whatever. Like I just want to have fun. Cause I ain't gonna lie, I get bored easily. Like I be with somebody, and even if they like fine as hell, or you know, even if they suck and fuck good, whatever. It's gonna be something about them that irritates the fuck out of me. Yeah. And it's like, bro, like, you know, it's like something about them that's gonna fucking make me like, I don't like you. Like,
it can be the smallest shit.
Yeah, and it's like, bro, and it's like, and this goes back to the honeymoon shit. Yeah. It's like during that honeymoon phase, it's like, okay, you can do no wrong. And it's like in the same thing with that talking stage. In that talking phase, like, so now I've pulled back from that honeymoon phase of where a woman always want my attention, always want to be around me, you know, gonna do whatever, you know, I ask her to do. So now I'm starting to step back and be like, okay, the talking phase. As far as like, what qualities about you can I start to look at now that might be an issue in the future? You know, and the same thing goes vice versa. Cause I tell everybody this, I'm like, look, I'm not perfect. Like, you know, I think that, you know, discussing certain topics like mental health. Do you have a therapist? Do you have a good relationship with your parents? Stuff like that. Like, if you don't have these certain things, these certain qualities, and that even goes to myself, then why are you trying to pursue an actual serious relationship? Because now you have something called trauma bonds. And when you have a trauma bond with somebody and you're in a relationship with somebody, you're only asking for it to become toxic, as they say. Yeah. So, and that's real shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but a lot of marriages and relationships start out toxic. But being in the generation that we're in, we like that.
We
like
do.
That shit.
That shit be turning me on.
So, so once you start out with that toxicness, it keeps going, and as it progresses, and you get older and more and wiser in the relationship, you didn't start not to like it. So, but it's been going on so long that we can't really like separate the toxicness from the love. So it's like, it's just at that point, it's just like, you know, why the fuck are we still fussing about this shit? And so it's just like, I don't know. It gets to the point where you just be like, well, do I want to continue this shit, or do I just want to like cut it off? But it's hard to cut it off because it's toxic. You can't leave toxic situations that easy.
And that shit is so true. Like,
you can't just leave a toxic situation that easy.
You pack all your shit, you ready to get the fuck out of there.
And then
you turn around and look at them like, damn, I miss you. Like, damn, I want you. Come here.
If you're that toxic, that's a definition of a toxic. That's like, I just pretty much put the whole blueprint of a toxic relationship
right
together,
there.
right?
Like, I hate you, don't leave me type shit. Like, and that's real shit. Like, shit.
It gets to that point.
Like, I can't even count how many times, like, me and my ex-girlfriend, and my now ex-girlfriend, I can't even imagine how many times, like, we, like, literally, like, packed our shit. Yeah. Like, she packed her shit.
I done threw my wife's shit outside.
Like,
and when she gonna pick it up and come back in the house.
See, now that's toxic.
Bro, that's some toxic shit. Like, but that's how it was. That's how we is. So it's just like,
that's real shit.
I need me a refill.
Y'all niggas toxic.
You toxic too.
Man, I'm good.
You're more like gentleman. Oh shit, you're the gentleman toxic. Like you, right. I can't stand you.
You see me, like at the end of the day, like I guess I can like define my toxic as like, I'm honest with people. Like, I don't lie to them. I tell them exactly how I feel. Like, I'm not gonna string you along or run some game on you. I tell them straight up, like, listen, I ain't shit, but you gonna love it here.
What was that?
But like, you know, Rob be telling us some funny fucking stories, man. Especially about like when you be at home.
That shit was strong.
Hey.
You know, it was a good tip. That's this shit.
Now, the story you told us. Now, here go a perfect topic. Here go a perfect description of like Rob's toxicity, right? Toxicity. I can't say that fucking word.
Toxicity.
That word, toxicity. So Rob had a situation where his wife kept calling him. Go ahead, tell the story.
She kept calling me?
The time she kept calling you.
Oh, yeah. So the way I am is like, if I'm at work, I don't like to my phone be blowing up, keep calling me over and over and over. So, you know, I tend to just be like, which I got a lot better at, is texting and then just being like, yo, like, stop blowing me up. And, you know, my wife is going to see this video. You know, I don't care. But at least I'm being honest. But it's like, I do not like when I'm on my way driving home, don't call me. Don't text me. Don't call me. Like, I'm going home to you. I don't want to talk to you while I'm at work and then talk to you while I'm on my way to work and on my way home just so I can go home and talk to you some more. No, a nigga need a break. Like, I need some me time. So, you know, I used to always get on to my wife like, yo, you want to work on communicating and you want us to have conversations to talk about, but you take all the conversation while I'm at work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, hold that shit off until I get home. If you want me to be like, you know what, I wish we would talk more, communicate more, stop texting and calling me throughout the whole day. I don't like that. She gotten a lot better about it. She kind of like chilled out on it, but it took a while. But it's like, that's just me. Like, they say, I do my own little music, I do my own little other things and businesses and whatever. But it's just like, when I get home, it's your time. It's me and you time. And I like to save all the conversations for, you know what I mean, when I get home. Because I don't like to be smothered. I'm good on all that. So I would get into it, argue with her back and forth. Like, well, I want to talk to you, and I want to do this. And I'm like, well, we can do that shit when we get home. Like, yo, like, one day you're going to call me, and I'm going to pick up the phone and look down, and I'm going to hit a car or something, and then I'm blaming it all on you. Because I just feel like being toxic that day.
You see, but like you see where your toxicity come from though.
Yeah.
Like when you're annoyed with the fact that she keep calling you, it's like what the fuck? Like why she keep calling me?
But if you ask for a female point of view, they gonna be like, well, why don't you want to talk to your wife? Or why don't you
right?
Want to? But so I understand what you're saying. He understand what you're saying. But if a female was in here, she's like, well, what's wrong with her wanting to talk to you? Or,
exactly.
Like. And that's where guys come in, and we're always toxic. They will be like, "Well, you're toxic because of this," or "He's toxic because of that." Females don't look at themselves and be like, "Well, maybe I'm the toxic one." They'll never look at it like that. It's always a guy. It's always a guy, and that's why we got this right here, so we can explain to the people
and also get our facts argued.
Yeah.
I mean, not facts. See, look, there I go being toxic. Not get our facts argued, but get our
point across.
Our point across. So, no, not point across, but like we can get
a voice.
We can get our voice out, but also like we can be challenged. Like by bringing like a woman on board. Like, hey, nah, I feel like this, and they can kind of explain to us so we can have a better understanding. Because I ain't gonna lie, bro. Unless women have like a guidebook or some shit, bro, they confusing as fuck, bro.
Yes. That's why I always say women are emotional, unstable creatures.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So listen to what you just said, right? You said it earlier. You just said it a second ago. You was like, women are never admit of being toxic, right?
Yeah.
But then there's the post that was on Facebook. And the post reads, our relationship was toxic because I was so busy blaming him for shit I should have been a woman about. Mm-hmm. Then she said, let me explain. This man has done nothing but trying to change his ways, and all I did, was provoke him, belittle him, and vice versa. Sometimes as women don't give our men enough credit, even when we do see them trying. So I publicly apologize to this man. Bro, that was some fucking.
That's like
some G
that's
shit.
That's a one
bro.
out of a million.
Yes, bro.
One out of a million.
One out of it's 7 billion people in this world right now, bro.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure, like, no woman out of that 7 billion was like, yo, yes, sis.
Yeah, right?
Like, yeah. It's like the same thing. How, what's that girl named? Ari? Ari just bought fucking Moneybag, yo. 28.8 acres or some
like
shit?
Yeah.
And not one woman have said,
goes.
Damn, go, sis. I'm going to get my man 28. Like, nah, like, y'all,
they
bro.
be sitting there like, man, why did she do that?
Right, like.
Yeah, man.
That's what I'm saying, like.
Man, but when Moneybag will buy her 3-5 Birkins, they all sitting there like,
goes. No, I'm not buying no Birkin. Like, Birkin.
Can't buy me shit.
I can't even afford a Birkin. I can't even afford my course sometimes. What you talking about? Like, I'm just being real.
Yeah.
But, like, I think, and that's what I'm talking about like, the culture, like, as you know what I'm saying, it's like we're expected to do so much.
Yeah.
But then when a woman does the same for us, you know what I'm saying, it kind of goes unnoticed. And that goes, to what I'm trying to say is, like, it's not just a male, point of view. It's a female point of view. Like, this woman didn't have to buy him shit for his birthday.
It's true.
She got him a little funky ass car and kept it moving.
Yep, kept it moving.
She bought him land. That's something that you can never replace.
Yeah.
Like, land is what it is.
That's
land.
That's residual wealth right there.
That's residual wealth. If you want to put some on there, if you want to
take it down, put something else like
right,
that.
rent it out, whatever you want to do, he can do that.
He can do whatever you want.
And that was some thoughtful ass shit. And that's what us men want, bro. Like,
but they want a money bag. Right. They want a money bag in their life, but they can't be an Ari.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You gotta do some Ari ass shit, cause like that's some real ass shit. I'm like, damn, like I'm finna eat your booty tonight type shit. Like she bought me 28 acres. Like what you talking about? Like
shit, yeah. And that's why Moneybag is still with her. Moneybag can be with anybody, and he's still with her because like you see how quick him and who was he with before? He was with Megan or something like that.
He was with somebody, but
But that shit was over. Like,
Let's find out who she.
Yeah,
go ahead. Keep talking.
That shit was over in like a couple of weeks. But him and already been together for like for months because she is like a 1 out of a million. She actually thinks about him and think about their future. A lot of women not like that. They're all about right now. I want this right now. I want that right now. But they don't never think about the future, and that's what a lot of women don't understand.
See, a lot of women is not gonna think about the future. The type of women that don't think about the future is the one that don't even have their own.
That is
so
true.
If you're a woman that has like, you kind of like, no woman's gonna ever admit, oh, I'm dependent on a man. Oh, yeah. But when you look at the schematics of it all and you really dig deep and find out about it, you are dependent on a man. So exactly. The women that are like out there, they out there go-getters, they're drivers, and they're ambitious. When they actually be able to do those things for a man, like buy acres, you think she was able to get him all those acres because she didn't do nothing for herself? Yeah. No woman that's either bummy or self-driven would ever be able to do something like that. And, you know, I admit, some men are intimidated by that. Me, personally, I'm not intimidated by it because I get it's 2021. I ain't with the old school ways where a man is supposed to pay for the majority. It's 2021. I'm like, no. Exactly. If we ain't going to 50-50 it, then you need to understand your place and your role.
Now, I got to argue that. I'm a believer in 50-50 if you boyfriend and girlfriend. However, if you husband and wife, it should be like 70-30, bro.
70-30?
Yeah.
Nah.
Okay, break that down. Like, what is your doing?
What's the 30% that they doing?
30% is like phone bill, light bill, cable. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that.
Okay,
the mortgage or rent should be, if y'all married, mortgage and rent should be the husband.
All right, listen to this, right? I'm gonna put my personal shit on the table.
All right,
right?
Go ahead.
Me and my wife.
I tell you my personal shit. Go ahead.
In fact, we've been together for about 4 years. Well, 5 years, but married for like 3. Right? She haven't paid a lick of rent since the beginning, all the way up until the last time that we just, rent came up. And the whole time we've been together, she been telling me I don't do shit. I ain't shit. I don't do nothing for her. All this shit, right? So I got to the point where I was like, if I don't do shit, pay half of this shit. So you might say 70-30 in the.
All right, but listen though, I can't argue that though because listen, she's not appreciating that shit.
All right, yeah,
and that's where I'm coming from. Like what I mean by the 50-50 as boyfriend and girlfriend, because anything can happen. Yeah, y'all can break up. Like for instance, my situation, I put it on the table. My ex-girlfriend, we got into a big argument. I broke up with her or whatever, right? You know how niggas do. Oh, I miss you. Come back. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me make things right. And she said, oh, okay, we can make things right. Okay. Man, 2 days later, I got an apartment. I'm gonna go ahead and just stick by this getting this apartment shit. I don't really think that you gonna change. Yeah. I'm finna move out type shit. Now listen. Imagine if I was doing 70-30 versus 50-50. 50-50 mean your ass gonna be here until this lease is over with.
I mean, unless you want to take over the shit yourself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I mean,
when I first got with her, I had my own apartment. Okay. I had my own apartment, and I was able to afford the rent that I was at. Okay. When we moved to this new apartment, we both had jobs. We both made money, and we both, took care of our responsibilities. So it was like we can get somewhere nicer and bigger. So we get somewhere nicer and bigger, whatever, right? Relationship don't work out. She can't afford to live there. If I would have left, I can't afford to live there. If she would have left, so when she did that move behind my back on that, okay, I'm finna get an apartment and leave type shit. I was like, well, the only choice I got is to do what I gotta do, and that's what I did. I left. I got all my shit. I packed it and I left. So I was like, okay, it is what it is.
So here's my question: when you say 50-50, like, what is your definition of 50-50? Because to me, there's levels to it. There's a financial version of 50-50.
Oh, the bill is 50.
And okay, so
rent, cable, rent.
Some people
rent.
Financially
really rent. Okay, really rent. Everything else, I'm like, okay, whatever. But
okay,
really rent.
You know what I'm saying? This is my thing. This is my whole thing about 50-50. I think a relationship can be 50-50. I think that most of the time when we think that the average person, when they think 50-50, they always think about financial value. And like I said, I used to always tell my wife, like, granted, my wife don't make nothing compared to what I make. So, but just because I make a crap ton more money than she do, doesn't mean she can't be 50-50. So, good example. If I'm paying the mortgage, the least you can do is pay the electric and cable bill and don't bother me about nothing. If you look at the money and layout, it's not 50-50 as in money-wise, but responsibility-wise, it is. Or if I'm paying for the mortgage and I'm paying for the house, then your 50% may not be monetary value, but you can clean up that motherfucker every single day.
You see, and that's what I'm talking about.
And that can be 50-50. A lot of women think that...
I can fuck with that, though.
A lot of women think that 50-50 means monetary value. Like, and don't get mad because I'm like, yo, this house is a mess. And then you be like, well, you know, I have to pick up after you. I'm like, well, you ain't never have to pick up after me when I pay this rent. You know what I'm saying? When I pay the mortgage. So, as much as you may get mad about, I dropped my underwear somewhere and I walk through the house like I'm shedding like a snake, so be it. But you ain't got to worry about that rent getting paid. The least you can do is pay for that.
Pause.
What?
You said shedding like a snake.
Okay, so it's a terminology, like it's an analogy, right? So when people say you shed like a snake, so what a snake does is their skin start to shed and it breaks off and then they go somewhere else and then something else is there and then leave something else.
So your skin shed is what you're saying.
No, meaning that let's say I walk through the house, right? I come in and I get off of work. I take my boots off at the door. Okay, I get lazy. I take off my jacket and I sit it on the couch.
You gotta elaborate because I'm like this motherfucker.
So
this motherfucker feeling zesty tonight.
And you know, I had to tell my old lady, like, I understand that she don't make what I make. So if we're not gonna do 50-50 on a monetary value, as a woman or a man, depending on who makes more, you gotta make your 50% count somewhere else. Cause I can't get mad because she don't make more than me. So if she's not gonna make more than me, at least she can do keep the house clean. Don't complain about keeping the house clean because I don't complain about paying the mortgage or paying the rent. It just goes. And you know, men typically don't complain about stuff like that. You know what I mean? We don't really complain about all that stuff. We just go out there, we go do it, and we get it. So a lot of times it's like that's why I was listening to this show on YouTube one day, and this guy asked a $1 million question, and a lot of women got offended by it and got all defensive and like, oh no, what are you trying to say? But here's the $1 million question: what can a woman do for a man that a man can't pay and go get it somewhere else? Like, what can you bring to the table that we can't go pay for? And you know, I mean, women can say the same thing. You know, they can say the exact thing. They can say the exact same thing. Okay, and then you know, women be like, well, I'll clean the house. Okay, I can go hire a maid to do that. Well, I give you the ass. Well, we can go pay for that too. You know what I'm saying?
Not paying for no ass. Listen, we don't. Wait, you know what I'm saying? The TNN network do not support what's that shit called? Prostitution and trafficking in persons. There you go.
Yeah. So, or you can be like, you know what? I cook for you every night. One, I'm a man. I can cook for my own damn self. I'm a pretty damn good cook at that. So I don't really need a woman to cook for me. I can make my own. Or I can go to a restaurant and pay for that too. Well, I help watch your kid. Okay, I can pay for that too. You have to bring something to the table that's not always monetary. Like, what do you do for a man that he can't go and pay someone else to do?
Man, I feel you on that one.
So,
what's going on, sis?
It's one of those things, like, you can't even complain about it. You know what I mean? Like, you can't sit there and complain about it. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of times with a relationship, when it's supposed to be 50-50, and like I said, men do it too, and women do it too, but a lot of times what happens is that I'm doing my 50%. I'm not worried about your 50%. So while you're doing your 50%, why are you all up in mine? The mortgage get paid, so don't worry about if the mortgage getting paid. We ain't homeless, so therefore I'm doing my job. So don't question me on what's already getting done with and already getting dealt with. I don't know if this is a female thing or some guys do it, but it's like the minute a nigga do something crazy or let's say he slip up, now you want to sit here and talk about everything that you do like this nigga don't do anything. But see, what people don't realize is that you want to know your real worth? Leave the relationship and see what your lifestyle is like after you leave the relationship. You know what I'm saying? See what your lifestyle is like. Now when you leave a relationship with a man, now you got to go pay your own mortgage. You think it's hard now? Go out there, go pay your own mortgage. Go pay your own car note. All these bills, you don't realize how many bills you really have until you out there and you're single by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's real shit.
I
would say this though. You see Dr. Dre, hey, that motherfucker hurting right now.
That motherfucker paying that shit too.
Hey, that motherfucker paying that shit, and that's and that's what comes down to it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, they can feel it and they can see it, but at the same time, I feel like because like, you know, they're women, like, bro, like all they gotta do is be like, shit, I'm on hard. Think about it like this: a woman would never be homeless.
If they got good pussy, they ain't never be homeless.
It ain't about being having
they got as long as you got a pussy. No cap.
Like, bro, like it don't even like you already know what I'm talking about. Like,
yeah.
But go ahead, explain.
I mean, a woman can go out and find a man, and they can be flat broke with nothing. The man will always bring a man to take care of him, just because the simple fact a man thinks I'm gonna get some ass. They gonna be at the crib cleaning up. They gonna be at the crib doing this, doing that, and then when he figure out that they ain't gonna be doing all that shit, that's when they get their ass put out. They like, all right, well, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna bring her in, and she gonna do all this shit for me. And they already got it in their mindset of how it's gonna be, and that's how I thought. You know, I was like, all right, well, I'm living with my moms, and I got a girl, so I'm gonna get our own crib and. I see my mom do all this shit by herself. She cleaned, took care of the household, did all this shit. Never complained about it. Never ever like did any of this shit until I got with my wife now. We moved in together. She complained about cleaning. She complained about cooking. She complained about this. She complained about that. I'm like, I see my mom do all this shit
right.
by herself. and you can't do none of this shit. And we know
by herself, bro.
Man, and she not even paying rent. My mom was paying the rent. She was out there getting it. And I'm like, bro, you doing all this shit. I'm paying the rent. I'm paying bills, the major bills.
So you want a woman like your mom?
Bro, but listen though. No, but see, I'm glad you said that shit. Because like, women who got dads in their life, right?
Okay.
Women who got dads in their life try to find a man that is not resemble, but have the same
statue
qualities.
Okay.
So if their dad was always good to them, always spoiled them, always made them feel like a princess, always told them that no man will ever make you feel, don't let no man make you feel like this, things like that. They take that,
okay,
and they try to find that in a man.
Okay.
So the same thing go with men. Like, bro, if I see my mama out here getting it, bro, you should be out here getting it.
Exactly.
Like, you should be out here getting it.
Okay, so what do you do if the girl got daddy issues?
See, and this is where I come in.
You know what I'm saying?
Right?
That's where. That's
so my ex girlfriend, whatever, right? She had, daddy issues or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, not putting on blasting like that, but a lot of women out here do nowadays. They got daddy issues. So it's like, bro, like at the same time, it's like, bro, I'm being a good man, but you don't know what a good man looks like.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you only seen that type of man in your life. So it's like, what are you really looking for? Yeah. Are you looking for a nigga that's gonna take you out on a trip? You looking for a nigga that's gonna fucking put you on Instagram and Facebook and shit? Or you looking for a motherfucker that's gonna actually provide for you and gonna make you feel special? Like, bro, a trip don't make you feel special, bro. Like, now I get it. Women like trips, bro. And I have to realize that, like, if you want to be in a relationship with today's woman, you have to, like, take them out somewhere.
You know what? All right. So the thing is, when they don't have dads in their life, they look at social media for confirmation. All right, well, this is what he doing for his girl, so that's how I should be treated. They see the rose petals leading up to the bed and the candles and shit. Everybody posting that shit, and they get they go viral and shit. They be like, why don't you do that for me?
But here's the thing, though. What are you doing to get that?
Exactly. They ain't doing shit.
What are you
they just
doing?
want it.
They just want it.
They just want it. Like, shit.
If I come home and the house clean every day, oh shit, this Saturday I'm finna take her out. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna show her some appreciation.
Exactly.
If I come home every day, and especially, listen to this, women. Especially if you're a woman who don't have a job, you're at home all day. If you got kids, good job. We commend you for taking care of the kids. But if you're able to do that, and say let's slow down for a minute. Let's say you don't have kids, and you're at home all day. You don't have a job, because I got a homeboy that was in a similar situation like this, and he's gonna be on the show later. If you don't have no kids, you don't have a job, that fucking house better be immaculate. Fucking immaculate.
Right.
And the reason why I say that is because it's just you there.
You got nothing but time.
It's nothing but time.
Right.
It's nothing but time, bro.
But they be on Instagram scrolling off.
They be on Instagram and but this ain't a podcast where we bashing women. Because I know some deadbeat ass niggas too. I know some niggas who like ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? And they don't deserve the women that they have. However, you know, right now we talking about the situation at hand. And that's, you know, being married and being with somebody who don't appreciate your value and or don't want to do anything to get what they want. It's a give and take. And I think people don't realize that no more. Like,
so this is what I gotta say, right? How can a woman not, you know, some women, they got in their minds that they shouldn't have to do 50-50 in a marriage.
Right.
Like what you were saying, 70-30. A lot of women think that's how it should be. You know, they shouldn't have to pay rent. But how can you expect that? And then when you get divorced, you want 50% of everything.
When you didn't put in 50%.
When you didn't put in 50% the whole fucking marriage.
You didn't put in 50%, so why you want 50%?
So how the hell do you want 50% of everything when you ain't do 50% when y'all was together? That's why I don't agree with the whole marriage, you know, like statistic when it comes to, all right, well, when y'all get divorced, it should be split down the middle. Shit wasn't split down the middle when we was fucking married. Like, how the fuck did that even work? And I see you like, oh yeah, that shit don't make sense to me.
It don't make sense.
That's why
it'll never make sense. You got some women who gets it, and a lot of women who just don't. I think more women don't get it. Being a man, let alone a black man, it's always gonna be harder for us. Like, good example. You look at the stats of the whole thing. Are there more fathers on child support or more women on child support? That number alone, like when it comes to like want to fight for your kid and do all this other stuff, the court system always looks at.
And that's the thing. As a man, because I'm divorced.
Right.
I'm on child support. I've been taking care of. I financially take care of my kid way before I even got in my divorce.
Yep.
I financially took care of my ex-wife way before my divorce.
That's crazy, man. Because some female are bitter, and they just put you on child support.
But it don't even matter if the woman is bitter or not.
The court is going to do it.
The court can do it anyway. The court is going to try to. The court is going to try to figure out what y'all gonna do. Either y'all gonna motherfucking do this under the table, or y'all gonna do it legally. Like, now I would say this. My ex-wife, you know, me and her did not get along. We hated each other. Like, hated each other. But now we cool as fuck because we divorced.
That's how it be.
So when it came down to the whole child support situation, right? She looked at me and she realized, she was like, this man take care of his kid. He makes sure that his son has, because my son has autism. He makes sure that his son has therapy based off his insurance. You know, he makes sure that he has, you know, he makes sure that he has everything he needs. Right. If I need something from him, he gives it to me. I'm not gonna knock him over the head. We can do this under the table. We can come to an agreement. So that's what we did. You know? And you got some men out here who are good men, but their baby mamas are just fucking like
trifling.
I ain't gonna say trifling. They're upset. We ain't gonna say bitter. We ain't gonna say bitter. We ain't gonna say bitter. We ain't gonna say upset. We ain't gonna say bitter. We ain't gonna say mad. We ain't gonna say, you know, trifling. We're gonna say upset. Because this comes back down to that whole I hate you but don't leave me type shit.
Yep.
They upset because you're gone. They already know. When a woman know that you're a good man, they know somebody else gonna get them qualities that you gave them. And that's real shit. And when they start seeing that and start feeling that and start getting that feeling, like, damn, this motherfucker really finna leave.
Yep.
They're like, listen, run that checkup. How much can I get? You know what I'm saying? And I was just blessed to have a woman who I was able to sit down and talk to, because you remember how my divorce was. Yeah. At first, that shit was spicy. Like, that shit was hell. Like, you know, she told me she gonna get me for everything. And I'm like, fuck, like, shit, I'm finna start doing something. I'm finna start selling drugs. I don't know, like, whatever I gotta do to get this money. Like, but then we came to an agreement. It was like, listen, like, think about it, because my ex-wife, she don't have a job. Well, now she has a job, but for the longest, she didn't have a job. She didn't have insurance. She didn't have any of these things that a basic human being needs to survive. But I always made sure my son was good. I told her that. I said, listen, at the end of the day, what you got going on is you. But best believe my son gonna always be straight.
Exactly.
She saw that. She knew that I was serious, because she know how I am as a man. I'm gonna always provide for my kid. Like Lil Durk say, if you ain't got time for your kids, you ain't got time for nothing. Exactly. So my son gonna always be taken care of. She thought about that. She was like, you know what? You're right. We can come to an agreement. And we came to that agreement. Yeah. And that's, you know, part of having an effective co-parenting position, or having an effective relationship with your ex, because you had kids. Yeah. If you ever decide on if you want to get a divorce one day, not saying that you are, but if you decide on doing that, like, you have to come to that terms that, your ex, like, your future ex-wife might be fucking, like, mad. And she gonna break your ass for everything you got. Yeah. This motherfucker over here, he's lucky because he don't got no kid with his wife, with his now wife. So if they just decide to divorce, he good. He's scot-free.
I mean, I'm good, but then
he
again,
might pay
I'm not,
a little bit of alimony.
You know, I'm good, but I'm not, because the way the court system is set up is that I'm still gonna be behind the power curve. You know what I'm saying? I think there should always be a clause in a marriage and with the court system and a law that says, if you divorce, you leave with what you came with. That'll change the dynamics of the whole system. That's not to say women don't bring this to the table, or a man don't bring this and that to the table. But if you're gonna, I tell my homeboys, like, anytime I do anything with them, or we do any kind of functions or whatever, or people that I say I ride or die with, do not come to the table with just a spoon and a fork. I used to tell them that all the time, because all they doing is coming to eat. If you ain't bringing an appetizer or a dessert or a side or a main entree, I can't rock with you, because you only there to eat. Like, if you just coming there bringing just a spoon and a fork, that lets me know the kind of nigga that you is, or a female. Like, people, and that's why the system is just so jacked up, because I really believe that you should always leave with what you came with. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't help me build everything, but then we divorced, you get to take half.
That ain't fair. It's like, what the fuck?
It's
like,
not fair. And I know some female or men who are in the same situation be like, well, let's say I make $1 million. I get rich off of writing a book. And they'll be like, well, your story was about me, but you wasn't up all night writing with me, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, yeah. So I got to pay you because I'm telling about my life story that you just so happen to be in it. Yeah. Like, come on, man. Like, you can't even do that. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. So, like, I feel like if I leave, if I was to get divorced and the law was leave with what you came with, I'll be good. Yeah, you'd be good. Like, you know what I mean? I will be good. I ain't got nothing to worry about.
You see, and that's the thing, though, right? Like, the law and the court systems, they don't know what you potentially came in with together.
Yeah, see, that's
they only know the story.
But unless you have what you got before y'all was married, and you can document that, that's the only way. And that's
where the whole prenup stuff come from.
Yeah, but I think I was talking to you about this. The prenup don't come into effect for a certain amount of years. You have to be married for a certain amount of years before the prenup actually, you don't have to prenup, alimony and shit. Yeah. Before that comes into effect, none of that shit even, like,
You have to be married for like so
Yeah.
like I think for Cali it's like 5 years.
Yeah.
And then like it just depends. Like
Yeah, so
if
she
you're like
can't
a
even get
government
nothing
employee,
from
it's
you.
like 7 years.
Yeah.
It just really depends on like what the situation is.
I believe in Virginia it's 10 years, but you can't get nothing no matter if we got it while we was married but if my name is on it and it's just my name, she can't get none of it until after like a certain amount of years. So the prenup, that's good, but that's just for like down the road type shit.
Here's the crazy thing about a prenup, right? I think it's good to have a prenup. But see, this is where a lot of women, I think as a man, we wouldn't give a shit. But as a woman, they're getting their feelings when you start bringing up a prenup. And when a female gets mad about a prenup, that starts to tell you who they are. Like, you get mad because I want to protect my assets in the event that we don't work out because of the stuff that I had before you. I want to make sure I get to lead with that. So if you get mad about that, that lets me know. I know no one wants to hear it, but like, oh yeah, I want to do a prenup because they be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but only people who got nothing is gonna get mad at a prenup. Yeah. Think about it. If y'all both got something, why would you be mad? You know what I'm saying? Like, no one want to sit there and get into a relationship and be like, you know what? I need to think about what I may have to give up and what I may have to risk losing because I got in a relationship with you. And you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people don't really look at it that way. Like, I don't have a prenup, but at the same time, like, I also don't share a bank account. I don't believe in it, and I never will believe in it. Like, I don't need no one looking at all my money and what I'm doing with it. And you may be insecure and you want to know what I'm doing with my money and why I'm doing with this and that. Like, there ain't none of your business.
See, that's a double-edged sword. And I would say this. And the reason why is because if something happens, especially when you have children with this person that you're with, you want them to have access to the finances, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, though, I feel as though you have to know who you're with. And what I mean is, like, if you know, like, it's just certain things that we catch on to, right? And it's the same thing with women.
Right.
Women know when a man is looking for a couch to sleep on. Based off of how he's reacting, how he's doing, what is he doing, right?
Right.
Because men do the same shit. Like, I'm from Chicago, so I know how the motherfuckers be. The wintertime, that shit cold. Niggas trying to, like, straight up.
Trying to get up inside.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, cuddle season. Like, they trying to find a cuddle buddy and get somewhere warm. And that's the same thing with, like, a woman. Like, it's certain things that you can kind of catch on to and be like, all right, like, that don't seem right to me. Like, it don't rub me the right way. Because a woman who got her own, she ain't gonna want shit from you. Now, best believe if you give her something, she's gonna accept it and she's gonna appreciate it. But a woman who got her own shit in her bag, bro, she's not gonna want shit from you, bro. She's gonna be like, nah, I'm good on that. Like, what's your motive? You know what I'm saying? Like, motherfuckers be like, yo, like, why you give me this? Like, type shit. You know what I'm saying? Or like, why you think I'm asking for this? Like, no, why you think I'm gonna ask for this type shit? Like, a woman who got her own, and that's the thing, bro. There is a lot of good women out here who got their own, but they're so, like, they're just about them. And I think that the problem is because there's a lot of ancient niggas out here. There's a lot of niggas out here who be on some I'm gonna take whatever you got type shit. And vice versa. Yeah. And that's why and this is when I'm being real, that the ain't shit niggas need to be with the ain't shit women. And the niggas who got something going on for themselves and trying to do something for themselves need to be with the women who trying to do something with themselves, trying to be somewhere with themselves.
But that's not usually how it works, though. Usually vice versa. It's like
it's vice versa.
The women who have shit want the ain't shit niggas, and the niggas who have shit usually get with the ain't shit women. Yeah, that's usually how it go every time. I don't know if it's like a connection or
what they say, opposites attract.
It is true.
So if we start, sitting down for a moment and thinking about it like this, right? Like, let me find a woman who has the qualities that are similar to mine. Not the same, but similar. Yeah. So we can come together and be like, okay, I might be the steak on the plate, but you the mashed potatoes, gravy, and mac and cheese, and vice versa. Like you said before, like you said earlier, you don't want to come into a relationship or into a situation where a motherfucker is the fork and the spoon. Yeah. All they doing is eating off your plate, and that's it.
I like that one. I like that one.
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying? Like, and it comes vice versa. It's for men and women. Like, you got, like I said, you got some men out here who really be on some, I'm trying to find a couch to sleep on.
Yeah.
And then you got some women out here who just be like, shit, I'm trying to find the next bag to go through. You know what I'm saying? It's like, them motherfuckers need to be in their own category with each other. You know what I'm saying? Men who get up every day, go to work, do they damnness to be the best man they can be, deserve to be with a woman who do the best they can be. Because they appreciate each other more because they've been through that same situation.
If you feel that. Yeah.
Why get so quiet? The fuck?
I know, right?
No,
You got quiet like real quick.
Quiet, quick as fuck.
My wife finna goddamn go out. She asked me when I'm.
Your wife finna go out? Hey.
And she said what?
No, she was like, "Where you at? Where you at? Where you at?"
Oh, she going
So,
out.
look, no, let me touch up on that. If a nigga is out, right? We out here enjoying ourselves or whatever. We told you we was going out. Stop texting us. When y'all be out with your girls or whatever, you don't see us texting. It's like you're asking stupid questions that you already know the answer to. So if I sit here and text my wife, knowing that she's out, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" I know what you're doing because you're out with your friends. So I won't text my wife and be like, "Yo, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Okay, cool." So, but when it's the other way around, don't do that to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna go out and do whatever with your homegirls or whatever, even if I think what I'm really getting to is like, because I know sometimes insecurity is a motherfucker. Ladies, I'm letting y'all know right now, and the same thing for niggas that's out there. Stop thinking you can stop somebody. Stop thinking you can stop somebody from doing something they already want to do. What happened?
I'm just looking at somebody who I used to fuck with.
Okay, I thought I didn't know if you were still on.
No, I'm sorry. I love this bitch. I mean, damn.
You can't edit that shit out.
Yeah, I get that shit out. But no, I'm gonna leave it in. Go ahead. I'm listening to you. I just had a toxic moment. That's all.
Okay.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, it's this girl. I mean, woman. Excuse me, because she's an older woman.
Yeah.
Who I'm fucking with, or who I was fucking with. I don't know, because she be still liking my shit. But
I'm gonna have to head out in a minute though.
Yo ass. Yo, lady was like,
because she already told me she was, but I thought we was just coming to set up. I ain't know about they goddamn really.
Give me about 5 more minutes of your time, and then we're gonna close it out because it's probably been about an hour.
Yeah, it's been about an hour.
So, like, this woman who I was fucking with, and I hate to throw you off of what you were saying, but
I know you do.
this is like some shit to add to the podcast.
Yeah.
Like, this is a woman who I like a whole
All
lot.
right.
So she's Spanish or whatever. I ain't gonna say she's older than me by a few years.
Okay.
And like, I ain't gonna lie, like, she got her little situation going on, whatever. I ain't gonna put her on blast, but like, I fucking want her ass. And it's like, fuck, man. Like, she be playing games. I'm like, look, listen, I know what your situation is. I just, care a little bit. Even we talked about this other day.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
And it's like, fuck, man. Like, she look good as fuck tonight. Like, quit playing with me if I fucking hawk your ass down. Quit playing with me if I can be out here in these streets.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, like, fuck, man. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't shit sometimes, bro. And this is why we made this podcast, because we toxic as fuck.
Shit.
Nah, but, like, we were talking about relationships today. We were talking about, marriages and, what a man wants and what a woman even wants. And one thing to reflect on and one thing to think about this whole situation is, know what you want, stick to it, and just go for it. Another thing too is to don't waste nobody's time. Just know that in a relationship, in a marriage, that things get rough. Whether you're gonna stick it out and fight, or y'all gonna turn this shit into a fucking and to go your separate ways or whatever. And I feel as though, like, whatever you do, just do it smartly. Protect yourself, protect your mind, body, and spirit. Always have that sense of discernment. Always have discernment, and that's something that's very important in these days, because you never know. So, we coming from 3 different perspectives. Divorced man who just broke up with his girl, and a married man
on the
verge of divorce, and
a happily married man,
and a semi-happily married man.
Oh Lord,
a man who fucking left his ex-wife and then ended up getting married again.
Yeah,
and that's something I can't never understand. I don't know. I can't get married again that fast. I don't get no fuck. Like,
man, there's a couple years in between.
A couple ain't enough. I need like a fucking century in between.
Like, you gotta have fun. You gotta be a hoe for a while. You gotta you gotta be slutted out.
Man,
and then,
if
all right, I'm
you
ready.
fuck like 10 plus bitches before you got married,
Right?
You wasn't a hoe.
10.
Look,
I
was out there.
Look, this man talking about 10 shit. I'm thinking like 15, 20. But talking about like, you gotta have fun. You gotta have options, bro. Like, you gotta have options, bro. Because like, once you get married, bro, that's it. You can't do it no more. Like, it's done. Like, once you get in a relationship, that's it. You can't do shit no more. Like, it's done.
Yep.
But I will say this, and this is probably the last thing I'm gonna say on this podcast before we head out of here. Man, make sure your shit is together. For one. Don't shack up with a woman until y'all engage or married. Do not do that shit. Enjoy life, have fun, and this goes the same thing with women. Vice versa. Have fun, be the best you can be, and once you're ready to settle down, truly be ready to settle down. And the main part of settling down is compromise. That big C word nobody likes to use. You have to learn to compromise. If you love somebody enough, you're willing to accept who they are for what they are. And you're willing to be different. And that goes vice versa. So that doesn't mean that you're supposed to just get walked all over. Put your foot down when shit needs to be, put the foot down on. But also accept that person for who they are, because that person is gonna love you, and if they truly love you, you should truly love them back. Amen. So hey, that's the end of this podcast. It's our first podcast. Hopefully this went well. TNN, Toxic Nigga Network. You know what I'm saying? We just out here having fun.
Really just talking real shit. That's all we doing.
That's all we doing is talking shit right now. You know what I'm saying? As we progress in this podcast, we're going to have, more. We're going to have actually guests. We're going to have call-ins. We're going to have a lot of fun with this. So, hopefully y'all,
tune in.
Hopefully y'all tune in, listen. You know what I'm saying? Anybody want to give out their Instagram and like that?
Social media, the first_Kings, man. The same old thing.
I'll save it for the next one.
Promote your business.
Oh yeah, so I got a business, small baking business for having bakes. So go ahead and look it up. I'll hook you up with the sales or whatever. So make cakes and treats and all the other stuff. So
and he ships all over the continental U.S. So
yes, I
make
ship
sure you put
everywhere.
That out.
Again, that's For Heaven's Bakes. You can look it up on Facebook. You'll find it.
All right, and I am Reginald91 on Instagram. I don't add nobody on my Facebook because that's where I talk about real shit. No, but Reginald REGINALD 91. You can find me on Instagram, and hopefully you guys tune in again. It's been a blast, and y'all have a good one.